About money, a different approach to investing you won't hear anywhere else. Your host, Mike Adams, is a registered investment advisor and works with investment portfolios exceeding over $100,000 in net worth and has a proven track record of managing long-term investments, surpassing the markets in the long term. The information shared on the following program is for educational purposes only, and any investment advice given may not be suitable for all investors. And now, here's Mike.
It's Friday afternoon, and we're going to be talking about money. My guest today, very interesting story to tell, and a company that truly is solving some of the productivity questions, increasing productivity in a couple areas. You want to hear what he has to say? We're going to come up, so we're just going to get a chance to introduce my guest, John Locke of Free Locke. Welcome to the program, John.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's great to be here and fascinating to learn about the high-frequency trading world. We deal with much bigger time periods. If we can get the time down to 3 or 4 tenths of a second, we're happy. Milliseconds, we're a long ways from that.
Actually, it's not even milliseconds. They're dealing in microseconds. I mean, the speed is incredible when you think of how the time it takes to blink your eye. And then to think about how fast all this is being done, it's an incredible area, and it's only going to change and get worse, if that can be said. But anyway, why don't we start with your background? Tell us a little bit about your background, and we're going to come to a commercial. But let's get started.
Okay. Well, I have a business called Free Locke LLC, and what we do is we work with businesses on solving business problems with websites. And I come to this after doing a wide variety of different jobs in my teens and 20s, doing counting fish, driving tour buses, waiting tables, working in hotels, and a variety of different experiences that have kind of given me some insight into what a lot of our customers are going through, what their challenges are. And that's kind of where I came from. And then spent a few years out at Microsoft as a vendor working on various web projects and writing.
Hold that thought. We're going to be right back.
All right.
About Money will resume in a moment with Mike Adams on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. For more information, click on adamsfinancialconcepts.com.
Creating and maintaining wealth has been the specialty of Adams Financial Concepts for over 20 years. Every portfolio managed by Adams Financial Concepts is customized to fit each particular client's objectives and risk tolerance. The client's interest always comes first in portfolio decisions. Call Mike Adams today at 206-903-1019 or log on to adamsfinancialconcepts.com to check out their AFC performance. They welcome your review. That's adamsfinancialconcepts.com.
Now we return to About Money. There's more information waiting for you at adamsfinancialconcepts.com. Here again is your host, Mike Adams.
So my guest today is John Locke of Free Locke, and we started talking a little bit about background, but let's talk about Free Locke right now.
Sure.
Tell us about what you do.
So we basically make websites and web applications that help businesses coordinate people in one form or another. So when you go and look at a website, there's all sorts of different ways that those are built. And most web development companies that you go and talk to are generally designers that are going to put something together that's related to your marketing and branding. We're developers. We work on the back end of that and put functionality in place. So when you're talking about e-commerce and being able to take money online, you'd be coming to talk to us. If you wanted to automate some sort of process in your business, that's the sort of thing that we can integrate in a website that may be facing the public, or it may be something else entirely.
You'd given us an example before about the electrical contract.
Yes. So one of the people that I was talking to a couple days ago was describing a process they were going through. It's an environmental consulting company, and they would go and look at light bulbs in some commercial space. And they were trying to come up with the cost savings for their customers of switching out old light bulbs that are energy hogs to really efficient LED bulbs. And build into that the cost of maintenance over the long term. So they'd built kind of their own formulas for figuring out all this cost structure and kind of a simple application to capture this data. And what they're looking to do is streamline this process because it currently takes one of their people 2 days to generate a report. So when they're going out to find more customers, that's what is really holding them back from growth right now. They have plenty of a large market for their customer base, but they have a capacity problem because they only have a few knowledgeable people that can put together these reports, and they're having to export things into Excel and cut and paste and run formulas and put it in a PDF and assemble it all these different ways.
And you can do it in what length of time? It's taking them taking one person 2 days now.
So what we're talking to them about is automating that to a process of the report gets generated within a minute or two, and then they can review it and get straight to their subject matter knowledge and point out the problems that they're doing. And so maybe 15, 20 minutes for handling what formerly took 2 days.
So that allows the person actually to go out and spend 2 days of marketing and selling rather than sitting somewhere trying to cut and paste in spreadsheets and PDFs and so on.
Right. And not only that, it also expands their capacity in other ways. They can start letting other people do the data entry, possibly their partners that they're going in to actually do the investigation of the space. A lot of that data entry can be minimized and pushed further up the chain, so that they spend more of their time doing what they're really good at and less of their time doing the mundane stuff that just basically soaks up time and money.
That's fascinating, and it's a big productivity gainer for a company like that. And it seems like you deal with a lot of customized projects similar to that.
Yeah, so we go into a project looking first at what are the results we're trying to achieve. What is our customer trying to do in general, not just with the website, but with their business, or we work with several nonprofits and school districts. What are the overarching goals they're trying to do? And then what can we do with this web project to help them achieve those goals? And a lot of times I like to ask, well, what's holding you back from growth? If it's a business, are you constrained because of this? You've got really good market penetration. Everybody in your market already knows about you, and so you need to go find a new market if you want to grow. Or do you have a marketing challenge where you have such a tiny piece of your market, you really need some good marketing efforts so that people know you even exist to buy from? Or are you constrained by capacity? You've got plenty of orders coming in, but you can't possibly deliver them. You need to streamline your operations. Those are really common scenarios that we've talked to a bunch of different companies about. And what we would propose, what we would suggest doing, is really going to depend on what that driving limiting factor is.
I would imagine also some of it comes into play in bringing together different groups of people within the company and outside of the company, dealing with some of the customers and some of the vendors that they deal with.
Yeah, the platform that we work with is an open source platform. So in the Seattle area, we're used to having Microsoft solutions. We're used to what we call proprietary software. You have to buy a license for it. And a lot of times those are sold as a client access license. So every person that has a login to a system, you're going to pay a license fee for, potentially. Software as a service has adopted that model as well. You pay for the number of users you have in the system. What we're building is something that you actually own. It's an open source product, which means the code is actually free. There's no licensing charges whatsoever. And so it really fits well where you want to have any number of users interacting with the system. You're paying for the system itself and the maintenance. You're paying us to help you make use of it and customize it to your exact needs. And then you can have any number of people connecting to it. So it's really good when the business wants to interact with partners outside their business or customers or vendors or the general public. It's just it fits the sweet spot right there at the edge of organizations.
And really helps to gain productivity. Helps grow the business.
It can. I think technology is definitely a two-edged sword, because if you're not careful how you organize the products or the projects and make sure that you're really driving towards a result, it's easy to get off on a tangent and spend a whole lot of time automating something that really doesn't cost you that much to do with a person. And it's kind of counterintuitive. A lot of times what we find are the things that cost a lot of money to do are things that aren't really that important anyway. And a lot of times the stuff that people aren't even thinking about as being a problem, we can actually save quite a bit of money with a really quick, simple thing. So that's why we like to dig a little bit deeper and understand the goals of the business, because we have a lot of experience with both sides. We can really understand what is available that we can deploy really, really quickly and get you a result quickly. And then try and be opinionated about it and say, hey, you're really fixed on this particular thing you want to see. Are you sure it's worth the $15,000 it's going to cost to address that? Or should we be spending that budget on something that's going to have a more direct impact on your bottom line?
So if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
Well, start with our website is freelock.com, freelock.com. You can always drop me an email at john@freelock.com. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn and most of the social media networks out there. Not super active, but I usually will get messages through all of those.
Well, I think you do a tremendous job, and I think it's a big help to the companies that are using FreeLock. So thanks for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay.